Imagine waking up each morning with the sense that no challenge is too great, no obstacle insurmountable, and no dream beyond reach. There is a source of intelligence so vast, so precise, that it can guide your every decision, illuminate the darkest corners of uncertainty, and open doors that no human effort alone could ever unlock. This power is not found in ordinary mentors, colleagues, or even the most brilliant minds you encounter. It is the ultimate ally, the master key to success that has guided every person who has ever achieved greatness. When you begin to recognize that this invisible, infinite intelligence is always available to you, everything changes. Suddenly, your mind becomes a magnet for opportunities, your vision sharpens, and your courage to act grows beyond what you thought possible. Every successful person, consciously or unconsciously, has tapped into this unlimited wisdom. They have learned that the greatest breakthroughs do not come from human logic alone, but from the deep, intuitive insights that flow when the mind is attuned to a higher source. This intelligence is impartial and limitless. It does not favor the rich or the powerful, the well-educated or the socially connected. It responds only to clarity of purpose, faith in action, and the courage to move forward despite fear. When you approach challenges with this understanding, you stop relying solely on your limited reasoning and instead invite solutions that transcend ordinary thinking. Faith is the bridge between your efforts and the guidance of this infinite intelligence. It is not passive hope, nor is it blind trust. True faith is a deliberate alignment of your thoughts and actions with the understanding that a greater force is at work to help you achieve your desires. When you develop faith in this power, your mind begins to perceive patterns, recognize hidden opportunities, and instead, actively avoid pitfalls. Decisions that once seemed complex and confusing become clear. Paths that seemed blocked suddenly open. Opportunities appear that you could never have anticipated through human calculation alone. This is where the concept of divine collaboration comes alive. Every time you pause to think deeply, to visualize your goals, and to seek clarity, you are communicating with this ultimate mastermind. It does not matter whether you call it God, universal intelligence, or infinite wisdom. The principle is the same. By tuning your mind to this frequency, you access guidance that is precise, intelligent, and designed specifically for your growth and success. Your mind becomes a channel, and your actions are amplified far beyond what you could achieve alone. Consider the power of insight. Many people rely on trial and error, making decisions based on incomplete information or past experiences. But when you tap into this infinite intelligence, your mind begins to receive ideas, solutions, and strategies that feel almost effortless. These are not mere coincidences or lucky breaks. They are the results of aligning your thoughts with the greatest source of wisdom available. By embracing this partnership, you begin to anticipate challenges before they arise and identify opportunities long before others see them. Alignment is key. This power responds not to random wishes or fleeting desires, but to clarity and purpose. When your ambitions are in harmony with your values, your intentions are clear, and your commitment is unwavering, the guidance you receive becomes unstoppable. It speaks through ideas, inspiration, and sudden realizations that seem to arrive from nowhere, yet always lead you exactly where you need to be. The greatest innovators, leaders, and creators have experienced this flow. They describe it as intuition, insight, or divine inspiration. But truth is simple. It is the intelligence that governs the universe, responding to those who seek it with clarity, faith, and action. Have you ever noticed how some people seem to move through life as if the universe itself is conspiring to help them? They make bold decisions, take calculated risks, and somehow everything seems to fall into place. This is not luck. It is the result of a deep, unwavering connection to a force far greater than themselves. Faith in this power is what transforms ordinary men and women into extraordinary achievers. Faith is not passive. It is not hoping that good things might happen. Faith is a deliberate, unshakable belief in the guidance, wisdom, and support of the ultimate source of intelligence that governs the universe. When your mind is anchored in this faith, fear and doubt lose their grip. Clarity replaces confusion, and decisions that once seemed impossible suddenly become obvious. Faith is the engine that drives the partnership between your effort and the divine intelligence that is always available to you. It allows you to see beyond what your eyes perceive, beyond what your past experiences dictate, and beyond the limitations imposed by other people's opinions. When you act from faith, you tap into a stream of ideas, solutions, and opportunities that the ordinary mind cannot access. This is the same power that has guided the greatest innovators, leaders, and creators throughout history. They did not rely solely on human reasoning or luck. They trusted in a higher source and allowed that guidance to direct their actions. One of the most powerful aspects of this connection is prayer, not just the rote repetition of words, but a focused, deliberate communication with the divine intelligence. Through prayer, you articulate your desires clearly, align your mind with purpose, and open the channels of guidance. But the key is not merely asking, it is listening. Prayer becomes a two-way dialogue where ideas, inspiration, and clarity flow back to you in subtle, often unexpected ways. This is where miracles begin to occur, not in the sense of magic, but in the tangible alignment of your efforts with an intelligence that is infinitely wiser, infinitely capable, and infinitely responsive. Alongside prayer comes visualization, a powerful tool to make faith concrete. When you vividly imagine your goals as already achieved, your mind begins to adjust. Subtle, intuitive ideas emerge, practical steps present themselves, and the seemingly impossible becomes achievable. This is not mere imagination. It is your mind resonating with divine intelligence, translating your vision into actionable insight. Those who master this process are able to anticipate challenges, recognize opportunities before others see them, and act decisively in ways that produce extraordinary results. Faith also acts as a shield against fear, the most destructive force in human achievement. Fear clouds judgment, saps energy, and paralyzes action. But when faith is strong, fear diminishes. You begin to trust that no matter how complex a situation appears, guidance is available, solutions exist, and success is possible. This confidence does not come from ego or overestimation of personal ability. It comes from a deep recognition that a higher intelligence is working alongside you. Every step you take in alignment with this intelligence multiplies your effectiveness and brings you closer to your goals. Moreover, faith instills patience and persistence. Success rarely comes instantly. It requires effort, resilience, and the ability to remain committed in the face of setbacks. When you have faith, every challenge becomes an opportunity to strengthen your resolve. You understand that delays are not denials, obstacles are not punishments, and failures are not the end. Each is a lesson designed to refine your approach, expand your perspective, and deepen your reliance on guidance that transcends ordinary human wisdom. When faith and prayer are combined with deliberate visualization, the results are profound. Every person who has ever achieved extraordinary success shares one secret. They do not rely on talent, luck, or circumstances alone. What sets them apart is their ability to transcend ordinary limitations by connecting with a power far greater than themselves. This power transforms obstacles into opportunities, fear into courage, and ordinary ideas into extraordinary achievements. It is the infinite intelligence, the divine source that guides, inspires, and amplifies every action. To tap into it is to gain a partner who sees beyond human constraints and knows the perfect path forward. When you understand that this ultimate mastermind is working with you, the way you approach life, work, and dreams changes entirely. Obstacles are inevitable. Challenges will rise, doubts will whisper, and setbacks will test your resolve. Yet when you operate in partnership with this divine intelligence, no obstacle is truly insurmountable. Every problem contains the seeds of its own solution, and every difficulty is an opportunity for growth. You begin to see that limitations are not barriers, but lessons designed to refine your strategy, strengthen your character, and deepen your reliance on guidance that is infinitely wise. The greatest achievers have learned to embrace difficulties as allies rather than enemies, understanding that the right perspective transforms every challenge into a stepping stone toward success. Fear and doubt are among the most powerful forces that can paralyze human potential. They cloud judgment, sap energy, and keep dreams just out of reach. Yet faith in this divine intelligence transforms fear into clarity and doubt into confidence. When you recognize that your decisions are supported by guidance beyond your understanding, hesitation diminishes. You move forward with certainty because your steps are not taken alone. They are aligned with wisdom that sees the end from the beginning. Every act of courage becomes a demonstration of trust, and every obstacle overcome is proof that divine partnership is not a concept, it is a tangible, living force that can transform your life. This is the true essence of aligning your desires with divine will. It is not about abandoning ambition or suppressing goals. Rather, it is about harmonizing your purpose with principles that are eternal, unerring, and just. When your desires are in alignment with this intelligence, they are empowered. Your vision is clarified, your strategies sharpened, and your decisions guided by insight that surpasses ordinary reasoning. The universe begins to respond in ways that seem almost miraculous. Opportunities present themselves with perfect timing, and solutions appear where none seemed possible. This alignment is the bridge between what you want and what you are capable of achieving. It transforms ordinary effort into extraordinary results. Action is the essential companion to alignment. Faith and divine guidance are powerful, but they require action to manifest results. Every inspired idea, every insight, and every step forward is magnified when you act decisively. This is the difference between those who dream and those who achieve. Those who succeed understand that divine intelligence is not a substitute for effort. It is a force multiplier. It magnifies your work, directs your steps, and opens doors that would otherwise remain closed. By embracing both faith and action, you create momentum that carries you forward, even when obstacles seem formidable and the path uncertain. Patience is also an essential component of this partnership. Results may not be immediate, and success often requires persistence in the face of delayed gratification. Yet, when your desires are aligned with divine intelligence, every delay is purposeful, every challenge instructive, and every setback a lesson. You learn to trust the process, to remain consistent in effort, and to maintain faith that the right outcomes will manifest at the right time. There is a force in the universe more powerful than talent, more intelligent than the sharpest mind, and more strategic than the most experienced leader. It is the divine intelligence that governs every opportunity, guides every inspired idea, and amplifies every courageous action. When you learn to tap into this power, you unlock a level of creativity and growth that no human effort alone could ever achieve. The greatest achievements in history were not the result of isolated effort. They were the outcome of individuals who recognized that their human intellect, while important, could be exponentially amplified by aligning with this infinite intelligence. Once this partnership is embraced, the mind becomes a limitless source of ideas, innovation, and solutions. Creativity flourishes in the presence of divine alignment. Ordinary problems suddenly appear as challenges to be solved, not as roadblocks. Where others see limits, you see possibilities. Your imagination becomes a laboratory, and your thoughts become experiments guided by an intelligence that knows no bounds. Every inspired idea you conceive is a gift from this ultimate source, a spark of insight that has the power to transform industries, change lives, and redefine the very limits of human achievement. When you trust this process, your mind operates like a magnet, attracting solutions and opportunities that align perfectly with your goals and purpose. Growth is inseparable from divine partnership. The more you develop spiritually and cultivate a connection with this infinite intelligence, the more powerful your insights become. You begin to notice patterns and possibilities that remain invisible to those operating solely from human reasoning. You intuitively understand the steps necessary to overcome challenges, seize opportunities, and expand your influence. This growth is not merely about skill acquisition or knowledge accumulation. It is about evolving your mind, your character, and your capacity to act decisively in harmony with a higher purpose. Persistence, fueled by divine guidance, ensures that obstacles no longer derail progress. Every difficulty encountered is reframed as a lesson, an opportunity to refine your approach, and a stepping stone toward success. The guidance you receive is constant, but it requires attentiveness. By remaining open, observing carefully, and acting courageously, you transform setbacks into advantages. This is the essence of operating in partnership with a power far greater than yourself. Your every decision is informed by insight that transcends ordinary reasoning, and your actions are amplified by a force that guarantees alignment with the ultimate outcomes you seek. The most remarkable aspect of this divine partnership is its ability to expand human potential. There is no limit to what can be achieved when your mind, spirit, and actions are harmonized with this infinite intelligence. You begin to see opportunities where others see scarcity. Challenges become invitations to innovate, and risks become calculated leaps guided by clarity and faith. This partnership cultivates resilience, courage, and vision, qualities that separate the truly successful from those who struggle endlessly despite effort. Every great innovator, leader, and visionary throughout history has tapped into this principle, whether consciously or unconsciously, and the results speak for themselves. Mutual growth is at the heart of this process. As you grow spiritually, your capacity to receive guidance increases. Your mind becomes more receptive to subtle ideas, intuitive nudges, and inspired solutions. Every time you act on these insights, your trust deepens, your faith strengthens, and your ability to create impact multiplies. This is a cycle of continuous expansion. Scion, the more aligned you become, the more insight flows. The more insight flows, the greater your actions. And the greater your actions, the more your life transforms.